I looked at the data when this story was announced about school shootings in the United States, and I am going to share that with you. There's another school shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And the shooter, of course, they have named him. I don't know what to say when it comes to these school shootings. I have a poll question. Please be sure to answer that. I have a question for any of you that grew up during the 60s, the 70s, or the 80s. If you could tell me what was different for you at that point in time when you were in school, it will make sense when I show you the data. But this was the news that broke just the other day, another school shooting. Where did we go from here?
We're coming back on the air with breaking news out of Minneapolis. Police and the mayor holding a news conference on a shooting that unfolded this morning at a Minneapolis church, Annunciation Church, also a school, pre-K to 8th grade. Let's listen in to Mayor Jacob Fry.
But to everybody out there, do not think of these as just somebody else's kids. Those families are suffering immense pain right now. Think of this as if it were your own. Every one of us needs to be wrapping our arms around these families, giving them every ounce that we can muster. These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance. These are the sort of basic assurances that every family should have, every step of the day, regardless of where they are in our country. I'm so deeply saddened, and I'm so sorry to the families that I know are suffering right now. My ask is to everyone, stand by them, love them. These families have forever been changed, and we've all been changed with them. We need to do everything possible to support them through this time. We have a family resource center that has been set up. I'm grateful for all of the law enforcement agencies from a number of different jurisdictions, all the different departmental support that we've received. They're going to be working tirelessly.
You know, I have seen this man's face on the news more than I would like to. The first time was after the murder of George Floyd. I've continued to see him since then because there continues to be these incidents in Minneapolis, Minnesota, but he's the mayor there of Minneapolis. And now we are seeing him again. I am greatly, appalled at the number of school shootings that we have in this country. I am also concerned that it has become too common to the point where people are just like, oh, okay, it was another school shooting. And when I show you the data, you'll see what I'm talking about. There is something deeply broken in this country. And hopefully, maybe we can talk about it when we get to call in. This is something we can all break down, because I really want to know, for those of you who grew up in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 60s, what was different for you? Because those numbers weren't there like they are today. So there is something deeply twisted happening in this country. No other country has these numbers of school shootings. It is this one. And to the shooter, what in the world goes through your mind for you to go to a school and kill children? I know how you can go after somebody who's so innocent. How you can just kids, babies, kids, their lives had just begun. What have they done wrong? We'll go on a little bit more here.
There's also a family resource center that is being set up as we speak to make sure that we're there for everybody. Again, to the families that are suffering, to those that have experienced loss, I'm so deeply sorry. We're going to be with you every step of the way. We love you. This kind of act of evil should never happen, and it happens far too often. The chief will provide additional details.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N, O''H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. Earlier today, just before 8:30 a.m., our city experienced an unthinkable tragedy. Minneapolis police officers responded to a report of a shooting at a mass that was happening at the Annunciation Roman Catholic Church on the block behind me. This worship service was marking the first week of school for children that are attending the Annunciation Catholic School. During the mass, a gunman approached on the outside on the side of the building and began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the mass. Shooting through the windows, he struck children and worshipers that were inside the building. The shooter was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children. And
one of the things I want to add here as well, this is why, and people don't like when I say this, but this is why I said, if I ever had a kid, I don't know that I would feel comfortable sending them to school. I said this one time on the show. I said, I don't know, I may want to homeschool them. And I know you can't shield them from everything, but I just feel like, are schools safe? Are they? The first school shooting that happened during my lifetime that I was in the US for was Columbine. That shook the country from what I remember. I just remember that was a big deal. After Columbine, I remember my school, they were holding the meetings with the students to ask, is everybody doing okay? To check in and see how everybody, was feeling. But Columbine at that time was big. I was like, oh my God, and would never think that this would ever happen again. But they've increased since Columbine. And everybody wants to point blame. People want to blame video games. People want to blame it's the music, it's the movies. Guys, these other countries play the same video games, watch the same movies, and listen to the same music that we do. But they're not doing this. So it has to be deeper. It has to be deeper than that.
other people worshiping. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. Police officers from the Minneapolis Police Department immediately responded, entered the church, and attempted to provide first aid and rescue some of the children that were hiding throughout the building, while other first responders came and EMS responded to rush victims to nearby hospitals. Ages 8 and 10 were killed where they sat in the pews. Their parents have been notified. 17 other people were injured, 14 of them being children. 2 of those children are in critical condition. The coward who fired these shots ultimately took his own life in the rear of the church.
And that brings me to the shooter. And that's another thing, you know, to do this, like I say, everything's coming out, to do this and then to end it the way that you choose to end it so that you don't have to face like justice. You need to hear this, the information that they found about the shooter.
Is Robin Westman. At one point in his life, he was Robert Westman, 23 years old, if I'm correct. It sounded like he left a manifesto. What more do we know about him, Tom? Or about them, I should say.
Yeah, sure, Tom. So we've gone through a whole host of videos.
And sorry about that. I think I said the shooter, so the shooter was male, transitioned to female.
Videos that were left behind online, as well as what he said. So the videos show a series of diaries, a series of writings, and he flips through them much the way if I were to show you a book and flip through it right now as you and I are talking. And some of it is not written in English. It's written in an Eastern European language, still trying to comb through that. There is a handwritten sketch, a diagram of a church, not clear if it's this particular church that is included in there. There are many violent things that he whispers under his breath as he's going through there. The bottom line, the themes of this in that manifesto that was referenced there by Chief O'Hara is suicidal thoughts, an apology to his family, extremely violent thoughts all throughout all of the writings and everything that we've seen. He also shows the gun magazines that perhaps were the exact magazines that he used in the shooting today. On one of them, he referenced the President of the United States saying, "Kill Donald Trump." There's other political references in there. So this is somebody who espoused a whole host of views, none of which neatly fit into any sort of box that's out there, but it is certainly incredibly violent. The FBI Director, Kash Patel, putting out a statement on social media tonight saying this is going to be investigated as a potential act of domestic terrorism and as a hate crime. Of course, with this individual being deceased, that pretty much ends that portion of the investigation.
Exactly. So he doesn't actually get to face justice. Here's the other thing, too. One of those magazines they said had killed Donald Trump on the magazine. So how do you go from you're angry with Donald Trump to going to a school to kill children? I don't make that connection. And maybe there's something that I'm missing there, but I just don't understand. I really don't get it.
Investigation right now. They would just try to see if anybody had helped him at any certain point. But as the chief alluded to here, they're not looking for anybody else at this stage. They believe that he acted alone and that those three weapons, a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol, were all apparently purchased legally and purchased recently. So no indication that anybody bought the weapons for him. The question for the family members and for his friends is whether or not anybody saw anything in advance and could have possibly said something. But obviously much more on that as the day develops, Tom.
Yeah. So we do have, I want to bring this up here. This is the shooter to the right here in this video. And I just want to go ahead and sound the alarm now, because check this out. This gentleman here is now talking about launching Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built for law enforcement. So here we go, folks. This right here is going to be the kicker for them to make an excuse for them to increase surveillance. Here we go. Listen to it. He says it right here on Fox News.
Correct. I am now about to launch Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology to pull specific threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7
What did he say? Using what technology? Listen.
Detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology to pull specific.
Using Israeli-grade ontology.
Threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7 detective. It never sleeps, and it's going to get us in front of these attacks.
Would it have picked up on this, do you think?
100%.
In front of these attacks. So let me let them finish. I'm going to tell you what this really means.
I wish my program would already be up. We're not launching until next week. I've got a dozen agencies on board, Trace. I just unloaded a major Northeast agency with over 2,700 sworn. This is America's early warning system.
Lieutenant.
Correct. I am now about to.
This is my warning to all of you. This is the pre-crime move. And this is what, see, all this talk about crime, have you guys noticed this? All this talk about crime, you know, since the past like couple of months or whatever, Donald Trump sends the National Guard into DC. The DC mayor, as of earlier today, is now agreeing with Donald Trump and saying, thank you for this is working out great. Crime is down. They're all getting on board. And mark my words, this is something that is going to be bipartisan. It is going to be bipartisan that they want to increase surveillance. I'm not kidding when I say I feel like we are heading towards Minority Report. If you haven't seen the movie, check it out. You should be able to watch it for free now. But that's the direction that we're moving into, guys. They want to increase surveillance. They want to watch us. I mean, apparently the Patriot Act wasn't enough. And now let me talk about how this can go very, very wrong. Very, very wrong. Let's say that this type of technology, this Israeli grade technology, goes wrong. Technology doesn't always work the way it's supposed to. We all know from experience. Let's say it makes a mistake and it is predicting that said person is about to commit a crime. Next thing you know, the police got guns facing you, aimed at you, and the technology got it wrong and it was actually somebody else. All these years, they've been talking about facial recognition, increasing those types of things. They want to watch us. They want to control us. And by they, I mean the government. They've been wanting to do this. This stuff has been coming down the pipeline. And what will they say? Well, America's a violent country. The mayor of DC said it earlier this morning in the press conference. She said that the crime is now down in DC because he brought the National Guard in. She's a Democrat. So what did I tell you? This is no partisan difference on this. Both parties, both of these politicians, both parties support increased surveillance. We had it under Obama. We had it under Donald Trump. And it's been continuing. And they can point to incidents like this. They can point to incidents like, like the guy that shot the Israeli couple in DC. They can point to those incidents and say, this is what we need to stop. And Whitney Webb has sounded that alarm. Listen to this. I warned about the pre-crime push to stop mass shootings before they happened for years, especially during the first Trump administration. I don't think it's a coincidence that this happens just as the full extent of the Epstein-Thiel Carbine 911 relationship is being revealed. I wrote about Epstein, Thiel, and Carbine, as well as Trump's previous pre-crime push after a spate of 2019 mass shootings, which then Attorney General William Barr, who launched a DOJ pre-crime program called DEEP, seemed to predict in an odd speech together in the same article. And she put it here. She said, check it out and don't fall for the latest tragedy being used to coerce you into signing away your remaining freedoms to a pre-crime surveillance state. And I could see people falling for this. I could see people saying, well, yeah, I want to be safe. So let me go ahead and sign up for this. They want to watch you. They want to control you. That's what this is. And now we got another question that we need to ask as well. We need to talk about why we have so many mass shootings, in particular school shootings in this country. When you look at the data, this is from 1999 to 2025, and we're going to go further back as well. 1999 to 2025, K through 12. Look at this. 1999, 23. These are the number of incidents, right? Watch the numbers go up as the years go by. We went from 23 in 1999 to right now, 2025 is not over, but so far it says 116. 2024, 332. It's continued to increase over the years. And I've been sounding the alarm about this, guys. This shit is not normal. We have to stop normalizing school shootings. And people have been doing it. People don't even get freaked out the way that they used to. When Columbine happened, I was freaked out. And then you'll see here, Let's go further back. I was asking some of you who were around, if you grew up in the 60s, the 70s, etc. Look at this graph here. 2024 saw the second highest number of K through 12 school shooting incidents. So look at this. Over the years, if you look down here, this starts at 1970. We'll go a little further back. 1970. So you can see the number of incidents for the school shootings. There's Columbine right there. Columbine wasn't even a higher year. Look at how it has increased over the years. Sandy Hook, Parkland, Uvalde, Appalachia. Do you guys see this? I'll show you another version of this that you can see as well. A different angle here. So it shows incidents is red, victims is that deep yellow, and green is death. So if we just look at incidents alone, we go back to 1966. 9 incidents total. As we go through the years, look at this. 70s, 80s, 25, 84, 86, 17, right? Oh, excuse me. That was victims. We're looking at the red. Okay, so not even that much. But as we get to 2020, 2005, 2006, 59 incidents. We continue to go, just look at this. These are the numbers. They continue to increase. 2018, 119. 2019, 124. Let's go all the way up. 2023, 349. This is a sickness. And this should not be normalized. The hell is happening to us as a society? It continues to increase, folks. It's not going down. So, what changed? We can look at economic issues. We can look at poverty, for example. We can look at we can look at capitalism. Because I think that's what a lot of this comes down to. We can look at mental health, increase in mental health, lack of health care. I don't know, but something changed. So for those of you who are watching, if you grew up, I want to know, if you grew up in the 60s, the 70s, or the 80s, what was different for you? Let me know. Let me know. Like, we can't blame entertainment. A lot of people are blaming entertainment. You can't blame entertainment anymore. There were violent movies back then too. And people in other countries also watch violent movies. Miss Ritchie says the internet. That's interesting. All right. Why does America have the most school shootings? 1,957 votes. 24% say America is a violent country. 14% say lack of mental health resources. 4% say lack of gun reform. And 58% say all of the above. Interesting. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.